So in order to create a country that is prosperous, just, and culturally rich, we are working on a renaissance that is going to be built on citizen activism and collective intervention to uphold social justice and good governance. My topic today, since there are many speakers on stock exchanges, I thought I'll focus a little bit about our country and not specifically about capital markets. So the topic today is about the Sri Lanka Renaissance and the economic, social, and cultural, what we call awakening, or rather reawakening. So today, as I speak, we are at the threshold of a new era for our country, Sri Lanka, one of revival, transformation, and progress. It is what we like to call a national renaissance. It's a move to elevate our country in all dimensions, economic, social, and cultural, bringing forth the true potential of our land and our people. The Sri Lankan Renaissance is a dream that first emerged in the 20th century, but was stifled by numerous challenges that we had. A cruel 30-year war, civil war, and terrorism, which thankfully, of course, ended in 2019, about 16 years ago, 2009, 16 years ago. A tsunami in 2004, which killed over 40,000 people. An Easter Sunday bombing incident in Colombo, which killed 400 people. Then the COVID pandemic, and an economic crisis in 2022, which was triggered by unsustainable debt levels in the country. And now we are talking about a revival. We now have the opportunity to reignite that vision of a renaissance that we had and propel our country towards prosperity. The transformation is not about minor reforms, but reimagining Sri Lanka about engineering, health, education, art, literature, and of course human rights. At the heart of this transformation lies the development of a production-based economy. Our future focus is on harnessing our natural and human resources effectively and emphasizing sectors such as mineral resources to develop local industries, information and software technology to position Sri Lanka as a digital hub, tourism to capitalize on our rich diversity and 2,500-year history, cultural and natural heritage, agriculture and marine resources. As you know, we are an island surrounded by the sea, and that we need to do to enhance food security and exports, and creative industries such as cinema, literature, music, and theatre to showcase our cultural richness to the world. Also, we believe that science and technology will play a crucial role in this transformation effort. Education, health, and transportation is a focus area now to ensure equitable access and efficiency in public services. Vocational education will bridge the gap between the academia and the job market, producing skilled professionals essential for the production economy that we are talking about. So let me dwell a little about sustainable and an inclusive economy. Sri Lanka's economic revival post the economic crisis in 2022, which was triggered by unsustainable debt levels and the pandemic, which caused dwindling foreign reserves. And as a result, we had an economic crisis of proportions that Sri Lanka had never seen. We now have improved foreign exchange earnings from tourism and worker remittances that has contributed to economic stability. As you know, tourism is an important industry in providing an inflow of US dollars and employing over 1 million people directly and indirectly. GDP growth has exceeded 5% in each of the last 3 quarters. Sri Lanka's inflation, measured by CCPI, has been gradually declining, leading to deflation in recent times. For the past 5 months, Sri Lanka has been experiencing deflation, with last month's inflation recorded at a minus 4%. The Sri Lankan rupee has appreciated significantly showing resilience in the global market. Sri Lanka's rupee appreciated by 10% in 2024, a little less than 12%, about 11.5% in 2023. Improved foreign exchange earnings have played a major role in this. Then our central bank also reduced interest rates to pre-crisis levels, and interest rates have fallen to a 3-year low. Following the economic reform project of the IMF, which was launched 2 years back, Sri Lanka has experienced now a faster than anticipated recovery. The debt restructuring efforts have been completed, and debt restructuring has provided an extended grace period and reduced interest rates, easing the financial burdens for the country. As of July 2024, Sri Lanka has secured a grace period until 2028 for principal loan repayments and reduced interest rates to 2% all over. The repayment payment period has been also extended by 8 years, with full settlement expected only by 2043. In Sri Lanka, in September 2024, Sri Lanka achieved a pivotal agreement with international sovereign bondholders and bilateral creditors, including China, India, and Japan. The restructuring that I'm talking about includes a 40% reduction in the present bond value of bonds, lowering the average interest rate from 6.4% to 4.4%, and extending bond maturities by 5 years. So as a result, as you can see, following the crisis, we fortunately didn't go south, but I managed to overcome. And Sri Lanka was able to secure the fourth tranche of a $2.9 billion IMF reform package recently after the completion of the third review of the IMF program. And we were happy to note that the IMF commented that Sri Lanka's efforts are now beginning to bear fruit. We are not out of the woods yet, but I think that there's a lot of effort and progress that has been achieved over the past 2 years. And with inflation remaining low, improved revenue collection, tax collections, widening of the tax net, and of course, accumulation of reserves. Foreign investments also in government securities surpassed 80 billion Sri Lankan rupees, and foreign investors added a further 1.6 billion Sri Lankan rupees to their portfolios on a net basis as of end of February in 2025. The other all-important ingredient for revival is one of political stability. This has been achieved recently with the present government elected to power, which commands a 2/3 majority in parliament, and the election of a president, both of whom will serve for the next 5 years, giving the country a chance to achieve prosperity amidst political stability and, of course, policy consistency. Sri Lanka is one of the oldest democracies in the world and has a rich tradition of democratically elected governments being changed only at election times, which is once in 5 years. The only instance of an upheaval was in 2022 when the incumbent president and the government was forced out due to abuse of power and corruption, which led to the crisis. We dubbed it the people's struggle. However, I think we also go on record as perhaps one of the very few countries which has overthrown a government in power peacefully without the loss of a single life, which was also immediately followed by a smooth transition of power to a new president. So we want a transition towards a circular economy, prioritizing sustainability by adopting renewable energy sources, eco-friendly agricultural practices, and green construction methods. We are keen about a harmonious coexistence with nature and to restore and maintain the environmental balance. Economic growth alone is not enough, and as a country, we want to foster a just and equitable society. So our Renaissance envisions a Sri Lanka where women representing half the population enjoy equal rights and free from all forms of violence. We want laws that are aligned with international charters to ensure justice and protection for the most vulnerable groups. We want a judiciary that remains independent, upholding justice without interference. We want arts, literature, and philosophy to play a pivotal role in shaping a compassionate, cultured, and thoughtful society. Sri Lanka is also ambitious in transforming the country's economy and society through the full integration of digital technologies. This involves ensuring that it can compete globally in areas such as innovation, entrepreneurship, and digital skills. It also includes promoting sustainability and inclusiveness in the digital economy to ensure that no one is left behind, that all citizens benefit from the opportunities provided by the digital revolution. The National Digital Strategy of Sri Lanka that has been established will support building the new economy. Through its implementation, the strategy shall accelerate Sri Lanka's development trajectory, and this strategy should position Sri Lanka to use digital technologies to enhance economic competitiveness, to drive exports and foreign exchange earnings, to create high-paying jobs for young people, women, and rural populations, and deliver trusted and inclusive public services to everyone, everywhere. Sri Lanka has also introduced recently a Data Privacy Act and is in the process of setting up a Data Protection Authority as the enforcement agency. This includes a national data exchange, a unique digital ID, and a program to create digital literacy and awareness in the country. They must also give you an insight on a new program which has been implemented. The Clean Sri Lanka program, which has been implemented, aims to address a cleaner physical environment and an island-wide moral commitment to enhance ethical principles. Enhancement of economic, social, and governance factors have been identified as the framework to address the objectives of this plan with the involvement of the community, with actionable goals, timelines, and outcomes, with a vision to build a beautiful country with smiling people. This community-driven initiative is a participatory initiative which has three pillars: a social pillar, fostering a socially cohesive and ethically driven society through behavioral transformation. Secondly, the environmental pillar, addressing critical environmental challenges, emphasizing sustainable energy, water resource protection, improved air quality, and effective waste management. Then the ethical pillar, focusing on promoting integrity and ethical behavior in all respects, emphasizing the importance of transparency, accountability, and mutual respects. So as the term goes, Clean Sri Lanka is not just about the environment, but it's about a clean country. Increased focus on education, particularly for students with special needs, a countrywide cultural festival to celebrate the diverse heritage of our communities, higher wages, social protection measures for pensioners, orphans, and disabled individuals, a revival of interest in sports at school level, fostering youth engagement and athletic excellence, supporting low-income students, focusing on providing housing for artists and journalists, recognizing their role in cultural development, and of course, addressing the human-elephant conflict and to mitigate those challenges, ensuring harmony between people and wildlife. As you may not know, Sri Lanka is home to an elephant population of about 7,000 plus elephants of the Asian variety. And this population has grown significantly due to conservation efforts. But due to limited land mass in the country, the human-elephant conflict remains a challenge. I believe our country's underdevelopment has been fueled partly by our isolation from the global community. It is time to open new avenues in science, technology, research, and the arts. More importantly, we must forge a unified Sri Lanka where the majority Sinhalese community, Tamils, Muslims, and the plantation communities stand together under one flag, bound by mutual respect and shared aspirations. So the message that I wish to convey is that, in order to create a country that is prosperous, just, and culturally rich, we are working on a renaissance that is going to be built on citizen activism and collective intervention to uphold social justice and good governance, to institute institutional changes and attitude transformations to nurture a humane and cultured society, a commitment to economic, social, and cultural freedom, ensuring an improved quality of life for our citizens. And that is the shared aspiration of Sri Lankan people. However, the success of all this would depend whether as a country we have learned lessons from the past, and also as a country whether we are collectively passionate about making this really work. So with that, I will conclude my brief remarks on these perspectives and also hope that we can welcome you to Sri Lanka someday. Thank you.